Okay, so there is a question that I get asked a lot, and that is, why don't you date? What's going on with that? So some of you may know that I separated from my now ex-husband about 3.5 years ago, almost 3.5 years, and I don't really date. I haven't really dated. I've been on a couple of like accidental dates, basically the equivalent of like one per year, and where I was quickly like, yeah, no. Whew. So I just thought I would talk about that and why that is. And also, I'm coming to you, I just like kind of realized a few days ago, oh my gosh, it's Easter weekend. Again, we're in quarantine, things are strange. So I am also a lover of festive headwear. It's one of my favorite things on the whole planet. And so I had to pull out my stuff. And I want to show you how fancy this is. And this like takes me a second. Look, it's like a pillbox on top of my head for my drugs. Wait, hold on. There we go. Can you see that? Can you see that? Ooh, okay. That's the party. Yeah, and look, I have these cool earrings. Yep, they're like bunnies and they have hearts in the middle. It's like they've been shot through the heart with a heart-shaped bullet. Ugh, I'm not sure if that was funny, but it was funny in my head. Okay, wait, let's turn this off. There's the slow jam. Okay, there we go. So, dating. Here's the breakdown. So, the first year after my separation from my husband, because the divorce wasn't finalized until a little later, the first year was just, you know, if anyone has been through a divorce, first year was like pain. Just pain. Just feeling my way through pain. And why would I date when I'm in the middle of pain? First of all, I could hardly manage my own self, so I can't imagine taking on someone else. And frankly, anyone who would have been interested in me in that first year, not a good long-term choice, okay? If you rescue a damsel in distress, you end up with a damsel in distress. So yeah, that wasn't good. But I do remember that, gosh, it was like maybe 6-ish months after my separation, maybe 7 months. And there was a guy, like a decent guy, who reached out to me on Facebook, of course. And he was kind of, flirting with me. He was doing basically what normal people do, but it had been so long for me because I had been in a relationship and I was just, hurting. So I wasn't, like, my receptors, my synapses weren't firing. It took me a while to figure out, oh my God, I think this guy is coming on to me. And I couldn't believe it. It was like, I might as well have been like living on another planet with unicorns. And it's like, when you haven't been out in the dating pool for a really, really long time and suddenly you are, it was just too much to bear. And that was one of those times when everyone's like, okay, just go, you just need to do it. And I didn't really want to, but I knew I wasn't thinking straight. Maybe I can't trust myself. Only time I've ever said that in my life. Always trust your gut, people. So I went out with this dude and I cried on our date. I cried. Yeah. And I apologized to him, and he kind of knew what he was getting into. But after that, I said, not ready to date, don't want to date. The second year, it was a huge breakthrough. Like the second year I came out of it. Have you ever walked through the fire and you just come through it and you are just, oh, you're like powerful. I did it. Nothing can stop me now. I was like just full of power because I had gotten through something that was earth-shattering for me, and I knew that I was going to be okay. Finally, I knew it. I didn't know how, but mentally I was back. The thing is, with that power was clarity of mind, and suddenly I was like, what the hell am I doing? I'm a single mom now. I need to start working full-time, not part-time, trying to imagine that, I'm going to be able to pull this off without doing that. And I was totally flailing. just in my life, because I didn't know how to balance everything. I didn't know how to balance. Oh, and by the way, my son at that time was a year after we broke up. He would have been 2.5, so he was still really small, required a lot of attention. And to me, like, the greatest gift and the thing I love most in the world is being a mom. So I didn't want to lose any of those moments, but I didn't know how to be a good mom and work and do anything else. I could hardly do those two things. So there wasn't time for dating. And to be honest, it still, it wasn't on my radar. It just wasn't a priority. I also think that, for those of you who have maybe been through a divorce or been through kind of like a really hairy, sticky situation that lasted for a while, it's such a relief at a certain point to just be free, that I think I was definitely feeling that, because now I'm finally feeling good. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling powerful. So I wanted to enjoy that. I didn't just want to like jump into the next thing that came along and not really be able to just, take that day by day and appreciate it for what it was. So that was the second year. And I did someone cross my path that year who was like a really, really old friend, actually from junior high, who moved in 8th or 9th grade. We see each other every 5 or 6 years, whatever. Came through town, super gorgeous. I thought, wow, okay. Went out one time, was like, nope, I'm not ready, and I'm not ready to compromise for anyone. And let's just be frank, he was kind of rude to the wait staff at the restaurant. No, we don't do that. So anyway, there was that. And then there was the beginning of the third year. So now I've had a year to learn to juggle. And I've also started working full time. And I'm kind of, okay, I've got my son. He's now 3.5. It's a little bit easier, but it's still a lot of work. So now I'm starting to finesse. And now it's actually starting to be kind of fun. And I'm kind of getting back to myself in certain ways. Like, for a long time, and I still, like, I love fashion. That's a combo for another time. But I just only wore black, really, all the time, even though I was really happy, just because I wasn't myself. I was working on my internal self and setting my life up. I didn't want anyone to look at me. And I couldn't have verbalized that then. But now I realize I just had a uniform. Like in the summer, it was a black tank top, pretty much like this one, and jean shorts, and no hair, no makeup, just plain Jane, do not look at me, I'm good, sort of thing. And in the winter, it was a black cotton top and jeans and black, like motorcycle boots, black coat, no hair, no makeup, don't look at me. So in the third year, I started to get back to me a little bit. I started to think about, not like, think about my appearance, but just to think, like, I was so disconnected even from my body that, I've always eaten pretty healthily, but I hadn't exercised. I didn't have a lot of energy. I just wanted to know who I was again and to be able to finesse and put the building blocks back into my life where I felt they needed to be. And the other really cool thing is, you guys, again, I say, if you've been through a divorce or something similar, you find yourself kind of alone all of a sudden. And I decided to take that, because we have choices in our life as to how we look at things. I decided to see that as a gift of time. And so when the third year rolled around, the beginning of the third year, I wasn't done totally dropping all of my baggage. I wanted to take that gift of time, not just to drop the baggage from, like, say, my past relationship, but as long as I had this and was given this opportunity, why not really work on myself and go deep and let go of all the crap? Like, we accumulate stuff over time, and we're in our fierce 40s now. Like, we've had some time to get some things, and some of us, me included, like, still have stuff from childhood that we're lugging around, like luggage that our parents gave us that we need to offload, get rid of their baggage, and just 1,000 other things. So I decided that I wanted to take the time to do that, and I still, frankly, wasn't super interested in having someone around. Still really felt, just the wonderful relief and release of being by myself. So I took that time to, for example, I mentioned one thing about how I eat, that I'm not a vegan, but I eat mostly vegan just for the health purposes. And so that year, that third year, I decided like it's time to, make this a life change, a lifestyle, a life commitment. I saw my body going, this way or this way, and it had nothing to do with what I was doing. It just had to do with the time of life I'm in. We're in our 40s and things are changing. So I took the time over that year to learn to cook, to find out what I liked, to do some great recipes, and it was really time consuming. I feel like I've learned that nothing worthwhile happens overnight. So I just put in the time, and now it's like in my toolbox, something that I get to keep, and that's really, really awesome. That's the other thing about taking this time for myself is I've been able to learn new skills and gain confidence, and that feels also really good. Yeah, so there's that. And then, and I should say, the gentleman who popped by in that year, I actually met totally randomly. I was at a girlfriend's 20-year reunion, and it was one of her friends. And again, super gorgeous, like, wow. Went out on one date, actually had a blast, laughed harder than I'd laughed in a long time, but knew, no. That's, again, another benefit of being in your fierce 40s. You can meet people and know that they are lovely humans that you have no business spending time with because you're just not. You're just not going to gel. So yeah, and didn't really mourn that one. I was just kind of ready to get along with things. So yeah, so now I'm in that half of a year. I'm almost at 3.5 years, and finally, all of a sudden, the world is opening up to me, and I find that miraculously, I have time for something new, guys. Me. And dating has started to sound really appealing, and like so much so that I'm actually thinking about going online and doing modern dating. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. It actually kind of sounds exciting. Just like not even, I'm actually not excited to like meet the one. I'm just excited to meet people and be out and alive and things like that. So, yeah. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Oh, I should say another really weird thing that happened the second and third year with that one dude that rolled around my 1 per year ratio was I totally felt over the fact that I was never going to have another child. Like it was again another story that is kind of deep for another time, but part of the mourning of my first year was that I had my son when I was 38, 37, and then when we separated, I think I was like I was just about to turn 39. I mean, chances were I wasn't going to have another biological child because I wasn't like looking to get it on with someone right away and like make that happen. So that was really, 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 really hard for me. And I thought that I was totally over that until, once per year I would like get ready for that date and I'd think, oh my God. It just, I'm like, really, Gillian? Really? You were supposed to be over this, and now before you've even gone on a date with this dude, you're like, this is my chance. I can have, like, it'll be perfect, and I'll have another baby, and yuck. So yeah, I just wanted to be done with that. I didn't want to meet up with someone and have to put all this expectation on it or them. And frankly, like I said, I'm not even really interested I'm more interested in the baby than I am like a relationship with a dude. So that's not good. Not a good reason to date anyway. So that's my story. That's why I haven't actively dated in 3.5 years, and I've loved it, and I've stood by it, and it's been awesome. And I hope when I do start dating, I'm really seriously thinking of doing that online profile like any day, just for fun. I'll let you guys know if I do. And yeah, let me know if you have any thoughts. Oh, and now that I'm wrapping up, again, I'm supposed to say, please consider subscribing to my channel. You can like it on Facebook, and let me know like your stories or your thoughts or whatever. I just really want to have an awesome second childhood with a bunch of rad, fierce 40s people surrounding me. And if that's you too, please join me. Mwah! Ciao, ciao. Have a great day.